to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Hey again, it's Audra.
And Cheryl.
And we're going to have some straight talk today.
Straight talk about divorce.
Cheryl, what's on your mind today?
Well, I think, one of the things that has come up with in people that I've talked to who have gone through divorce is they have this unrealistic expectation of what their income is and how much they're going to end up with in a settlement. And unfortunately, what that leads to is a lot of disappointment and just a lot of unrealistic expectations for what their life's going to look like after divorce.
Put that on the list. You pegged it, my friend. Unrealistic expectations. If you're not the wage earner, right, or you don't have an equally yoked financial scenario going on, your financial life is going to modify, friend. It's going to change.
And it will change no matter what.
Yes.
It's going to change. I mean, even if you end up with half of the income, half of the household income, which is probably not likely, and we'll talk about that.
Right.
Your lifestyle is going to change. And that's an eye-opening experience if you are not prepared for that.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about some of the expectations that people have towards their settlement that maybe don't come to fruition. So first thing, I know a lot of people have a base income and then they get bonuses and things like that. And they're accustomed to that income. And unfortunately, when it comes to divorce, you are not guaranteed to get part of that supplemental income. And so do you want to address that a little bit more?
Absolutely. And remember, we're not attorneys and we're not CPAs, so we're giving you consequence, legal and tax consequence that are possibilities. If you want specifics for yourself, you need to contact an attorney to get legal advice. We give consequence. Or contact a CPA to get tax advice. We give consequence. Okay, so these are case studies. Our niche is focusing on divorce. We got to cover our own, okay? So with that being said, if you earn money outside of your salary, that is not guaranteed to always be there. I mean, shoot, you could lose your job and then we've got nothing.
Absolutely.
All right? You really could lose your job and then we have nothing. But your base is the amount that we're going to tend to focus on when it comes to dissolving. And we'd have to really go to great lengths to prove excess income over time, because just like we're in right now, we're dealing with inflation and coming down on prices when things were so elevated. Businesses are spending more money. As businesses spend more money, what they do is cut hours, they reduce bonuses, they reduce overtime. It is legitimate that your partnership in your household income is going to have a modification and that you may not be guaranteed access to overtime wages, commissions, bonus, stock options, right? Cheryl,
Absolutely.
What do you know about stock options?
Well, when I personally went through my own divorce, there was some company stock involved, and I learned the hard way that a spouse is not always entitled to access that stock. And I had thought that, I helped my spouse be in a position to be able to earn that stock and purchase that stock in the company. But when it comes down to it, he owned that stock personally. And I had nothing. And that was an eye-opening experience. And I will say painful experience for me.
Totally. Elaborate just for 2 seconds on the pain of that moment. Like, this is legit straight talk out there, friends. You don't get the money because you were not the employee. You did not do the work. That's the company's position, right? Even though you may have been the partner in the home, supporting and facilitating the wellness of that person getting to the employer, That stock option for the employer is between the employer and the worker, has nothing to do with what's happening in the worker's personal life whatsoever.
And I will say that blindsided me because I was depending on that income, especially as I enter retirement age, that was going to help supplement my income. And just quite frankly, it was a slap in the face. It was very hurtful to me personally, but I will say, had I known ahead of time, maybe I would have been prepared for that. I was not prepared for that. And so that's why I think it's really important that people understand that all of those supplemental incomes aren't necessarily jointly owned.
That's great feedback. I'm sorry that you went through that. And hopefully, friends, you will take a little taste of Cheryl's pain and know it's not personal to you. It's not about you at all. And unfortunately, your contribution to the household has nothing to do with the relationship between the employer and the employee. And that is straight talk.
Straight talk about divorce, guys. Until next time.